Life has a way of wounding us through people. It's not the stranger across the street that cuts the deepest. It's the ones you loved, the ones you trusted, the ones you thought would stand by your side. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's the people you poured yourself into. And when they hurt you, it feels like a betrayal that tears the soul apart. But let me remind you of something today. You do not serve a blind God. You do not serve a deaf God, and you do not serve a powerless God. He sees, he hears, and he knows how to deal with every person who has tried to break you. When life cuts deep, when people you trusted mishandle your heart, it can feel like nobody sees, nobody cares, and nobody will ever understand the depth of what you've endured. You can smile on the outside, you can keep functioning, you can keep showing up, but deep down inside you wonder, does anyone really know what I'm going through? Let me remind you today, there is a God in heaven who sees every tear, who hears every cry, and who knows every one you've carried. You don't have to explain yourself for him to understand you. Before you even find the words to pray, he already knows the pain that sits in the chambers of your heart. When others dismiss you, he notices you. When others overlook you, he sees you. When others minimize what you went through, he validates it. Because God does not just look at your outward appearance. He searches the depths of your soul. He knows the moments you cried yourself to sleep. He knows the times you smiled so no one else would see you breaking. He knows the betrayals you never told anyone about, the rejection you tried to hide, the hurtful words that still echo in your mind long after they were spoken. He knows, he sees, he remembers. That should bring you comfort, because sometimes the greatest pain is not even the act itself. It's the feeling of invisibility that follows it. It's the thought that people moved on with their lives while you were left bleeding. But let me tell you, God does not move on without you. He walks with you. He carries you. He bottles every tear, and he marks every moment of suffering. He said in his word, I have seen the affliction of my people, and I have heard their cry. You serve a God who not only sits high but looks low, who is not detached from your suffering but present in your pain. And because he sees, he also acts. People may think they got away with what they did to you. They may believe their lives were buried, that their betrayal was forgotten, that their actions left no trace. But heaven records everything. The God who sees you also sees them. He sees motives, he sees intentions, he sees actions done in secret. Nothing escapes his gaze. Time. That's why you don't have to carry the burden of proving your pain or seeking revenge. You don't have to keep replaying the hurt in your head, trying to make sense of it. Trust that the one who saw it all will deal with it all. Even when justice seems delayed, don't mistake God's silence for his absence. His timing is not your timing, but his justice is sure. He is a righteous judge, and he weighs the hearts of men. When he says, vengeance is mine, that means he has already taken ownership of the pain you've endured. And the good news is, his way of dealing with it is far greater than anything you could orchestrate. He knows how to bring closure, how to restore, how to vindicate, and how to turn pain into power. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and stop carrying what only God can handle. He saw what they did. He knows how it wounded you. And he has not forgotten. The same God who saw Hagar weeping in the wilderness, the same God who saw Joseph thrown into the pit, the same God who saw the children of Israel in bondage, that same God sees you right now. And if he saw them, and if he delivered them, and if he vindicated them, then he will do the same for you, because he is not a God who overlooks. He is a God who sees and responds. There comes a point in your life when you must understand that revenge does not belong to you. The human heart is quick to want payback, quick to want to even the score, quick to want to see the one who hurt you feel what you felt. But revenge is a heavy burden, and it will drain you of peace, joy, and strength. You were never designed to carry the weight of vengeance. That's why the word says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. When you try to do what only God can do, you end up stuck in cycles of anger, bitterness, and sleepless nights, because you are trying to fight a battle that was never yours in the first place. The enemy loves to keep you distracted by replaying the offense over and over in your mind. He wants you to keep rehearsing the betrayal, reliving the rejection, replaying the conversation until it eats you alive from the inside out. But every time you do that, you give away your power to the person who hurt you. You put them on the throne of your thoughts, and you reduce yourself to a prisoner of your own pain. That is not the life God designed for you. You were created to live in freedom, to walk in peace, to rise in power, and to stand in joy. And you cannot do that if your mind is consumed with getting even. You must come to a place where you say, God, I release this into your hands. I cannot handle it. I cannot control it. And I will not let it steal one more day of my life. Because every second you spend plotting revenge is a second you could have been building your destiny. Every hour you waste being bitter is an hour you could have been using to step into your calling. Every night you lie awake wondering if they'll ever reap what they sowed is a night you could have rested in the assurance that God is already handling it. When you release the offense into God's hands, you don't excuse what they did. You don't justify it. You don't pretend it didn't hurt. What you're doing is choosing not to let it poison you. Forgiveness is not about them. Forgiveness is about you. It's about setting yourself free from the chains of bitterness. It's about saying, I will not let the wound define me. I will not let the hurt control me. I will not let their actions dictate my future. Forgiveness hands the gavel over to the one who judges rightly. It shifts the burden from your shoulders to his, and it allows you to move forward without being weighed down by yesterday. And let me tell you something. When you give it to God, he knows how to deal with people in ways you never could. He knows what conversations to have, what circumstances to arrange, what lessons to teach. He knows how to humble the proud, how to expose the hidden, how to repay what was taken. But his way is not through destruction. His way is through justice. His goal is not to destroy people, but to turn situations around for his glory. That's why your job is not to get even, but to get free. So stop wasting your energy trying to play God in your own story. Let him do what he does best. Trust him enough to put it in his hands and walk away in peace. Because the moment you do, you will feel the weight lift, the bitterness break, and the joy return. That's when you'll realize you never had to fight this battle alone. The battle was never yours. It has always belonged to the Lord. Sometimes the hardest thing to understand is that God saw it all. Every tear you cried, every betrayal you endured, every lie that was told on your name, he saw it. He was not absent. He was not blind. He was not caught off guard. He knew the pain before it reached you. And he already had a plan for how he would turn it into something that would elevate you. What the enemy meant for evil, God can shift and use for your good. But here is the part many people struggle with. You must trust his timing. When people hurt you, your flesh wants to see them fall immediately. You want justice on your clock. You want to wake up tomorrow and hear that they paid for what they did. But God doesn't work on human timetables. He knows that some lessons take time, some seasons require patience, and some vindications come after you've already stepped into your next level. If he moved too quickly, you would miss the growth he is producing in you. If he handled it before you matured, you would not gain the strength, the wisdom, or the resilience that only comes from enduring the storm. This is why you cannot confuse delay with denial. Just because you don't see God dealing with them today doesn't mean he won't. Sometimes he's working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. Sometimes he's allowing you to outgrow the pain so that when the blessing comes, you can carry it without bitterness. Sometimes he's given them time to repent because his mercy reaches even to those who wronged you. But one thing is certain, God is faithful and he never lets injustice go unanswered. When you understand this, you stop wasting energy checking for evidence of their downfall. You don't need to stalk their life to see if they are struggling. You don't need to keep your ear to the ground waiting for bad news, because while you are distracted by looking at them, you're missing what God is trying to build in you. He said, I will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. That means he's more interested in elevating you than humiliating them. Your blessing will speak louder than their betrayal ever could. Think about it. If God simply removed everyone who hurt you, you'd have no testimony. You wouldn't be able to say, I made it through even though they tried to stop me. You wouldn't be able to show that his hand was on your life, even in the middle of opposition. Sometimes he leaves the people in place long enough for them to witness your rise. Sometimes he allows the betrayers to stay close so that they can see that what they meant to destroy only pushed you further into your purpose. So stop asking, when will God deal with them? And start asking, what is God building in me while I wait? Because if you shift your focus from vengeance to growth, you'll discover that the hurt didn't break you, it built you. The betrayal didn't end you, it strengthened you. The rejection didn't stop you, it positioned you. And when God finally moves, and you'll be so far ahead that you won't even care about who tried to hold you back. Your responsibility is to trust him enough to let go. Trust that his timing is perfect. Trust that his justice is complete. Trust that his plan is bigger than your pain. And when you do, you will live free from the need to see them fall, because you'll be too busy rising. One of the most powerful truths you must come to understand is that when people hurt you, you do not have to fight them with your own strength. You don't have to chase them down with words. You don't have to spend sleepless nights plotting a comeback. And you don't have to poison your spirit with bitterness. God has already declared that vengeance belongs to him. That means the battle is not yours, it belongs to the Lord. When you put your hurt, your disappointment, and your anger into his hands, you are choosing to walk in freedom rather than bondage. See, bitterness is a chain that keeps you locked to the very person who wronged you. It ties your emotions to the offense. It drags your spirit into cycles of replaying the pain, and it robs you of the joy of living fully in your present. But forgiveness, real forgiveness, doesn't excuse what they did. It doesn't mean it was right. It simply means you are refusing to let what they did control your life another day. Forgiveness is not a gift for them, it's a gift for you. It's the key that unlocks your future. You can't step into the fullness of what God has for you while carrying resentment like luggage from an old trip. You've got to drop it off because it no longer serves you. Every time you drag that old pain forward, you weigh yourself down from running the race that's ahead of you. That's why some of you are tired, not because of what's in your future, but because of what you keep carrying from your past. Let it go and watch how much lighter you'll feel. Understand this, when you choose forgiveness, you are not saying they got away with it. You are simply saying, I trust God enough to handle what I cannot. And he will. His justice is perfect. His timing is exact. He sees what was done in the dark, and he will bring it into the light. While you're letting it go, he's already working it out. While you're healing, he's already setting the record straight. While you're moving forward, he's already planning how to elevate you in a way that silences every lie spoken against you. And sometimes forgiveness is not a one-time act. Sometimes you have to wake up and choose it again and again until your heart catches up with your spirit. It's not about feelings, it's about faith. Even if your emotions still hurt, you can make a decision that says, I will not be bound by this. Over time, God will heal the wound so deeply that what once made you cry will no longer sting. You will look back and see how he turned the pain into power, how he transformed betrayal into breakthrough, and how he used hurt to shape the person you are becoming. Don't let your heart become a prison of offense. Don't allow bitterness to eat away at your joy. Don't waste your destiny by holding on to people who were never meant to have that kind of power over you. Release them, and in doing so, you release yourself. God has more for you, but you cannot step into it with clenched fists holding on to yesterday's pain. Open your hands, open your heart, and trust him to deal with those who hurt you while you step freely into the life he has prepared. There comes a moment when you must realize that the people who tried to break you didn't succeed. The ones who lied about you, the ones who betrayed your trust, the ones who thought their actions would stop your progress, none of it worked. You are still standing, and the fact that you are still here, breathing, believing, and pressing forward is living proof that God's hand has been on you the whole time. If what they did had the power they thought it had, you wouldn't even be here today. But the enemy's plan was interrupted because the one who formed you has already declared that no weapon formed against you will prosper. So instead of wasting energy plotting revenge or looking for ways to pay them back, shift your focus to how far you've come. Their betrayal pushed you into prayer. Their rejection pushed you into self-discovery. Their attack pushed you into a deeper reliance on God. What they meant for evil, heaven flipped and turned for your good. And sometimes that's why God allowed it to happen. Not to destroy you, but to redirect you, to build you. Time to toughen you for where you're going. You see, when people hurt you, they think they've written the last chapter of your story. But God always has the final word. He can take the pain they caused and make it the platform you stand on. He can use the very thing they did to bring shame to you as the very thing he uses to elevate you. Don't you see? Their attack became your training ground. Their cruelty became your classroom. Every tear you cried watered the soil for the harvest that's about to come forth in your life. That's why you don't need to fight them back in your flesh. If you waste your time trying to make them see your worth, you've already lost sight of who you are. Your worth doesn't come from their opinion. It comes from the one who created you. And he has already stamped his approval on you. He's already spoken destiny over you. He's already promised that your latter will be greater than your past. You don't have to convince anybody of what God is about to do in your life. Just keep moving, keep trusting, and keep walking by faith. And here's the truth. Sometimes God uses the hurt to separate you. Sometimes the pain was the tool he allowed to cut you free from relationships, connections, or circles that couldn't go where he's taken you. If they had stayed, they would have weighed you down. If they had remained, they would have contaminated your future. So yes, it hurt, but it was also necessary. You may not have seen it in the moment, but one day you'll look back and say, thank God they walked away, because it made room for what was truly meant for me. Don't let bitterness steal the lesson. Don't let unforgiveness rob you of the blessing. What they did is not the end of the story. If anything, it was the beginning of a new chapter. God will take care of them his own way, in his own time. But your focus should be on what he's doing in you. He is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever imagined. The attack didn't stop you, it positioned you. The pain didn't break you, it built you. The betrayal didn't bury you, it planted you. And now it's only a matter of time before you rise. There is a freedom that comes when you finally realize you don't have to carry the burden of getting even. You don't have to spend your nights plotting, rehearsing the pain, or replaying the betrayal in your head over and over again, because the God you serve is not blind and he is not asleep. He saw every tear you cried in the midnight hour. He heard every word that was spoken behind your back, and he knows the weight of the hurt that was dropped on your shoulders. And he has promised that vengeance belongs to him. That means you can lay it down, release it, and let him handle what you cannot. Too often, we waste years stuck in the cycle of bitterness, thinking if we hold on to the pain, it will somehow balance the scales. But holding on only robs you of your peace. It ties you to the very people who hurt you. It keeps you bound to a past that God is trying to free you from. When you release it into his hands, you are not excusing what they did. You are choosing not to let their actions dictate your future. You are saying, I trust the one who fights my battles more than I trust myself. You've got to understand there are some battles you will never win in the flesh. Some people will never admit what they did. Some people will never apologize. Some will never see the pain they caused. If you wait for closure from them, you'll be waiting a lifetime. But if you trust God to deal with it, he will not only bring justice, he will bring healing. And his justice is not always about punishment. It's about restoration. He will restore what was taken. He will restore your joy, your peace, your dignity, and your strength. He will use what was meant to break you as the very thing that sets you free. Sometimes you've got to remind yourself, you don't have to clap back because heaven already has the final word. You don't have to prove yourself because God already validated you. You don't have to chase after people who mishandled you because the table he is preparing for you is bigger than any apology they could ever give. That table is not set in private, it's set in the presence of your enemies. That means the very ones who tried to tear you down will have to watch you rise. They'll see you walk in favor they can't explain, blessings they can't stop, and opportunities they never thought would come your way. But here's the key. You can't rise while carrying the weight of revenge. You can't soar while holding on to bitterness. You have to let it go. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. You deserve freedom. You deserve to step into the next chapter of your life unbothered, unchained, and unbroken. Letting go doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. It means you've chosen to elevate above the petty, above the pain, above the trap of anger the enemy set for you. So stand tall, wipe your tears, straighten your back, and remind yourself that the God who brought you through the storm is the same God who will settle the score. You don't need to fight in this battle. All you need to do is be still and watch him work. Because when God deals with the people who hurt you, he does it in such a way that not only are you vindicated, but you're elevated, and that elevation will speak louder than any revenge ever could.